My beloved brothers and sisters, fasting in Ramadan is not only about staying hungry and thirsty. Many people complete the fast from dawn until sunset, yet they feel no change in their heart, no closeness to Allah, and no peace within themselves. The body fasts, but the tongue does not. The stomach fasts, but the eyes and behavior do not. Ramadan was not given to us just to change our eating schedule. It was given to transform our character. Sometimes a person finishes the entire month, but the habits, anger, gossip and distractions remain exactly the same. This is why some people fast, yet gain very little reward. Allah does not only look at your hunger, He looks at your sincerity, your actions and your effort to improve. Ramadan is an opportunity, but only the one who protects their behavior truly benefits from it. Controlling hunger, but not the tongue. Fasting teaches restraint, yet many people limit restraint only to food and drink. They protect their stomach carefully, but leave their speech unguarded. Words flow easily during the day, complaints, arguments and careless remarks. By evening, the body is tired and hungry, but the heart feels heavy instead of peaceful. This happens because the tongue continued what the stomach stopped. Ramadan was not sent only to change eating habits, it was sent to change character. When the tongue harms others, the reward of fasting weakens. The fast is meant to soften you, not irritate you. Guarding speech is part of guarding worship. A person who fasts with patience in words experiences calmness beyond hunger. The tongue is small yet powerful. A single sentence can comfort someone or deeply hurt them. During fasting, emotions feel stronger and irritation comes quickly. You may excuse harsh speech because you are tired. But Ramadan trains you to respond with patience precisely when you feel provoked. Holding back one angry reply for Allah is greater than holding back one meal. When you pause before speaking, you strengthen self-control. This control spreads into the rest of your behavior. Slowly, your reactions become gentler. Complaining also reduces the beauty of fasting. You repeat how long the day feels and how hungry you are. Yet fasting is meant to build gratitude, not frustration. Instead of complaining, remember why you fast. You fast because Allah invited you to worship Him in a special way. Shifting your thoughts changes your speech. Gratitude replaces irritation and your heart feels calmer. Backbiting is another danger. Speaking about others' faults may feel normal in conversation, but it empties spiritual reward quietly. Ramadan should protect you from such habits. If a discussion turns negative, choose silence or change the topic kindly. Silence in such moments is not weakness, it is obedience. Your quietness becomes a shield for your fast. Jokes can also cross limits. Humor is good, but mocking or embarrassing others harms hearts. Fasting should increase kindness. Before speaking, consider whether your words would please Allah. This awareness filters your speech naturally. You begin choosing words that heal rather than hurt. Remembering Allah helps control speech. When your tongue repeats simple remembrance, it has less space for harmful talk. Saying dhikr fills pauses that might otherwise become gossip. Over time, remembrance becomes your habit. You feel peace because your words carry benefit. Arguments often arise when patience is low. Someone may speak harshly to you during fasting. Your instinct is to respond. Yet the Prophet ﷺ taught that the fasting person should say they are fasting and avoid escalating conflict. Walking away protects your reward and your heart. You leave the argument with dignity. Speech also includes online communication. Messages typed in anger carry the same weight as spoken words. During Ramadan, pause before responding digitally as well. Patience applies everywhere. Thoughtful responses preserve relationships and reward. The tongue reflects the heart. When your heart remembers Allah, your words soften. When your heart forgets, speech becomes careless. Use Ramadan to train your inner state. As your heart improves, speech improves naturally. Apologizing quickly is also important. If you speak wrongly, admit it and seek forgiveness. Humility repairs harm. You feel relief because you corrected the mistake instead of ignoring it. This honesty strengthens character. Listening matters too. Sometimes controlling the tongue means choosing not to participate in harmful conversations. Excusing yourself gently protects your peace. You avoid situations that weaken your fast. Parents, Spouses and colleagues deserve patience, especially during fasting. They experience hunger as well. Kindness in these moments carries extra reward. Small acts of gentleness make Ramadan peaceful for everyone. Over days, you notice a change. Your reaction slow and your anger decreases. People feel safer around you. This is the real fruit of fasting, improved character. Your dua also becomes stronger. A guarded tongue brings sincerity. You speak to Allah with humility because you practiced humility with people. Worship connects together. Always remember, controlling hunger without controlling the tongue leaves fasting incomplete. When you protect your speech, your fast gains meaning. You end the day not only hungry but spiritually satisfied, carrying a calmness that remains even after the meal. Wasting time in distractions and social media. Ramadan is a month of limited days, yet many people feel it passes quickly without leaving an impact. One major reason is distraction. Hours slip away unnoticed while you scroll, watch and jump from one thing to another. You begin the day intending worship, but your attention becomes scattered. By the time you look up, the afternoon has gone. You feel tired but not spiritually fulfilled. Fasting is not only abstaining from food, it is learning to be mindful of how you spend your time. Every moment in Ramadan carries multiplied reward, yet distraction quietly steals it. The heart cannot absorb guidance when it is constantly occupied. Protecting your time is part of protecting your fast. Social media especially pulls the mind continuously. A few minutes turn into long stretches without awareness. Your thoughts become crowded with opinions, arguments and images that disturb inner calm. Instead of remembering Allah, you remember posts and comments. Afterward, your mind feels restless. Reducing this exposure brings immediate relief. Silence gives your heart room to breathe again. Distraction also weakens intention. You may perform acts of worship, yet your mind remains elsewhere. You pray but think about notifications. You read Qur'an but hurry to return to entertainment. Presence disappears. When you limit distraction, your attention returns to worship. Even short recitation feels meaningful. You do not need to abandon technology completely. Instead, set clear times for use. Choose moments after necessary duties rather than constant checking. Structure creates balance. Your day becomes purposeful instead of reactive. You control the device rather than it controlling you. Replace some screen time with reflection. Sit quietly for a few minutes after Fajr. Think about your goals for Ramadan and your relationship with Allah. These quiet moments calm the mind. Reflection gives direction to your worship. Family interaction can also replace distraction. Speak kindly, help with tasks, and share reminders. Meaningful conversation strengthens relationships and brings reward. You feel connected rather than isolated behind a screen. Reading Qur'an fills the mind with guidance. When you replace empty scrolling with recitation, your thoughts improve. Verses remain in your memory and influence behavior. The heart feels nourished rather than overstimulated. Another benefit is better concentration in prayer. Constant digital stimulation shortens attention span. Reducing it allows focus to grow. You stand in salah with awareness. This awareness brings tranquility. Nighttime requires caution as well. Many stay awake late for entertainment and miss early worship. Balance your evening so rest supports worship. Adequate sleep helps you wake with energy and sincerity. During waiting moments, use remembrance instead of checking devices. Simple phrases of dhikr calm your mind. Over time, your habit changes. Remembrance becomes natural and comforting. Avoid content that increases negativity. Arguments and heated discussions disturb your heart. Choose beneficial material or step away entirely. Protecting emotional peace is part of fasting. You will notice improved mood. Without constant stimulation, your thoughts slow and your patience increases. Small inconveniences no longer upset you deeply. Calmness replaces agitation. Ramadan teaches discipline. Controlling food is one form, controlling attention is another. Both strengthen willpower. When you manage your focus, you gain confidence in self-control. Use reminders to keep intention strong. Before opening a device, ask if it benefits your hereafter. This simple question guides decisions. Awareness grows with practice. Always remember, wasting time in distraction quietly reduces the reward of fasting. When you guard your attention, every hour gains value. Your heart becomes present, your worship becomes meaningful, and Ramadan leaves a lasting change that continues even after the month ends. Continuing gossip and backbiting. One of the quietest ways a person loses the reward of fasting is through gossip and backbiting. You may stay hungry all day, but the tongue feeds on the faults of others. Conversations feel normal, and you may not even notice when the talk turns towards someone's mistakes. Yet Ramadan is meant to purify the heart, not entertain it with people's shortcomings. When you speak about someone in their absence in a way they would dislike, you injure your own worship. The fast is supposed to restrain desires, including the desire to discuss others. Guarding your words becomes part of guarding your devotion. The hunger you feel should remind you to control more than food. It should remind you to control speech. Gossip often begins harmlessly. A complaint, a story, or a small criticism enters conversation naturally. You may tell yourself it is just sharing or venting, but repeated talk about others' lives trains the heart to focus outward instead of inward. Ramadan invites you to examine yourself, not others. When you redirect attention to your own improvement, you grow spiritually. Silence helps you notice your own flaws gently. This awareness encourages humility. Backbiting damages relationships even when the person never hears it. It plants negativity in your heart. You begin seeing people through their weaknesses instead of their dignity. Over time, your trust decreases and your peace weakens. Ramadan should increase compassion, not suspicion. Choosing kind speech heals your perception and restores balance. If you find yourself in a gathering where gossip begins, respond calmly, change the topic, speak positively, or excuse yourself politely. You do not need confrontation. Gentle redirection is enough. Your intention matters. Protecting your fast sometimes requires stepping away quietly. Remember that every person carries private struggles. The fault you mention may be something they are trying to overcome. Speaking about it publicly increases their burden. Mercy toward others invites mercy toward you. Allah loves the servant who conceals rather than exposes. Backbiting also weakens the sweetness of worship. After engaging in harmful speech, you may notice your prayer feels distant. Your heart struggles to focus. This is not coincidence. Sin creates heaviness. Guarding speech keeps the heart light and attentive. Use remembrance to replace gossip. When silence feels awkward, fill it with dhikr. Simple phrases of praise protect you from unnecessary talk. You remain present and peaceful. Over time, people recognize your restraint and respect it. Apologize if you slip. Everyone makes mistakes, but correcting them quickly restores sincerity. Ask Allah for forgiveness and speak well of the person you mentioned. This repairs your intention and eases your conscience. Listening also matters. Remaining silent while others gossip can still affect your heart. If you cannot stop the conversation, avoid encouraging it. Your reaction shapes the environment. Quiet disapproval often reduces harmful talk. Focus on praising good qualities instead. Mention kindness, generosity, or effort when discussing others. Positive speech strengthens community and lifts hearts. You become known for encouragement rather than criticism. Avoid gathering information about others unnecessarily. Curiosity fuels gossip. Respect privacy and trust Allah to manage what does not concern you. Peace grows when you mind your own path. Teach yourself patience during irritation. Sometimes gossip comes from frustration. When someone upsets you, resist speaking about them immediately. Calm yourself first. Respond with wisdom rather than reaction. Reflect on how you feel when others speak about you. That discomfort should guide your behavior. Treat people with the same dignity you hope to receive. This awareness softens your heart. You will notice emotional relief when you leave gossip. Your mind becomes quieter and your relationships feel safer. Trust increases because you value respect. Always remember, continuing gossip and backbiting quietly empties the reward of fasting. When you guard your tongue and choose mercy, your fast becomes meaningful. Your heart feels lighter, your worship becomes sincere, and Ramadan transforms your character in a lasting way. Ignoring the Qur'an during the month of Qur'an. Ramadan was honored because the Qur'an was revealed within it. Yet many people pass through the month without opening it except briefly. They fast, pray and attend gatherings, but the book meant to guide them remains distant. When the Qur'an is ignored, the heart misses its nourishment. Hunger reminds the body of need, and the Qur'an reminds the soul of purpose. Without it, worship feels incomplete. Allah sent these words not only to be heard in prayer, but to be personally received. Even a few moments daily with the Qur'an can soften your inner state. Ramadan becomes meaningful when you allow divine guidance to enter your routine, not remain on a shelf. Some people feel intimidated because they cannot read fluently. They delay recitation thinking they must first improve perfectly. But the Qur'an welcomes effort, not perfection. Reading slowly with sincerity carries reward. Allah values the struggle and the intention. Begin gently, one page at a time. Confidence grows as familiarity increases. What once felt difficult becomes comforting. Understanding the meaning deepens connection. Reading translation after recitation helps the heart reflect. You notice verses addressing patience, mercy and accountability. Guidance becomes practical. Your daily actions start aligning with what you read. The Qur'an becomes a conversation, not a ritual. Neglecting the Qur'an leaves a spiritual emptiness. You may complete many tasks yet feel unsettled. The heart seeks clarity that worldly activity cannot provide. When you recite, calmness enters gradually. Your thoughts slow and worries ease. Divine words settle what confusion disturbs. Make a consistent time after Fajr or before sleep works well. Regularity turns recitation into a habit. Missing it feels unusual. Consistency builds relationship. The Qur'an becomes part of your day rather than an occasional event. Listening to recitation also benefits the heart. While traveling or resting, allow the verses to play softly. The rhythm itself carries peace. Even without full comprehension, the soul recognizes its source. Your environment feels calmer. Reflect on small sections. One verse can influence your behavior for the entire day. Think about its message and apply it gently. Guidance becomes lived experience rather than memorized words. Transformation begins through reflection. Teach your family to join you. Reading together encourages accountability and unity. Shared worship strengthens relationships. Children and adults both benefit from collective remembrance. Avoid rushing to complete the Qur'an only for numbers. Speed without reflection weakens impact. Focus on presence and understanding. Quality nourishes faith more than quantity alone. When facing difficulty, recite verses about patience. They remind you trials carry purpose. Hope increases because Allah speaks directly about human struggle. Comfort grows. The Qur'an also corrects behavior. You become more mindful of honesty, kindness and humility. Its teachings shape character naturally. Improvement appears gradually but steadily. Your prayer improves with recitation. Familiar verses deepen focus. You stand in salah aware of what you say. Attention increases and worship feels meaningful. Reciting before sleep brings tranquility. The mind rests peacefully when ending the day with remembrance. You wake calmer and more hopeful. Ramadan nights especially welcome the Qur'an. Quiet hours allow deeper reflection. Even a few verses at night leave lasting impact. Always remember, ignoring the Qur'an during Ramadan deprives your heart of guidance. When you welcome it daily, your faith strengthens, your actions improve, and your inner peace grows. The book that was revealed in this month becomes a companion that continues guiding you long after Ramadan ends. Praying without attention or sincerity, prayer is meant to be a meeting with Allah, yet sometimes it becomes a routine movement. You stand, bow and prostrate, but your mind travels elsewhere. You think about tasks, conversations and worries while your body performs worship. When attention is missing, the heart receives little benefit. Ramadan invites you to restore the meaning of salah. Allah does not need the motions. He invites your presence. Even a short prayer with awareness carries more value than a long prayer performed absent-mindedly. Begin by reminding yourself before each salah whom you are about to stand before. This awareness prepares your heart and brings calmness. When you approach prayer with intention, sincerity begins to grow naturally. Many people rush prayer, especially while fasting. Hunger and fatigue make them eager to finish quickly, yet rushing removes reflection. Slow your movement slightly and pause between actions. These brief pauses allow your heart to follow your body. You notice the words you recite instead of repeating them automatically. Calm recitation strengthens concentration and increases humility. Understanding what you say helps greatly. Learn the meaning of common phrases in prayer. When you know you are praising Allah, asking guidance and seeking mercy, your attention improves. Words become conversation rather than sound. Your mind stays engaged because it recognizes purpose. Distractions often enter before prayer even begins. You may carry the noise of your day directly into salah. Take a moment before starting to breathe calmly and clear your thoughts. Leave worries temporarily outside. You can return to them later. This small preparation helps your heart focus. Choose a quiet place if possible. External noise easily breaks attention. A peaceful environment supports concentration. Even adjusting lighting and posture can help. Comfort allows the mind to settle rather than struggle. Looking at the place of prostration keeps your gaze steady. Wandering eyes often lead to wandering thoughts. A simple physical focus encourages mental focus. Gradually, your thoughts follow your body's stillness. Do not be discouraged by distraction. Everyone experiences wandering thoughts. The goal is gentle return. Each time your mind leaves, bring it back without frustration. This effort itself is rewarded. Persistence builds sincerity. Prolonging prostration softly increases humility. In sujood, you are closest to Allah. Speak to Him quietly in your own words. Personal dua strengthens connection. You feel heard and supported. Prayer becomes comforting rather than mechanical. Regular remembrance outside prayer helps attention within it. When you remember Allah during the day, your heart recognizes Him during salah. The transition feels natural. Worship becomes continuous awareness. Avoid performing prayer only to finish obligation. Approach it as relief. Salah is a pause from life's pressure. When you see it as rest for the soul, you welcome it rather than rush it. Your mindset transforms experience. Fatigue may tempt you to delay or shorten prayer excessively. Balance is important. Rest when needed, but maintain sincerity. Even a simple, attentive prayer is sufficient. Quality matters more than appearance. Reflect on standing before Allah on the day of judgment. This thought brings seriousness and humility. You realize prayer prepares you for that meeting. Attention increases when you remember its importance. Consistency improves concentration. The more regularly you practice focused prayer, the easier it becomes. Habits form gradually. Patience is necessary. You will notice peace after sincere prayer. Even if problems remain, your heart feels lighter. This calmness shows acceptance. Allah grants comfort through presence. Always remember, praying without attention reduces the reward, but restoring sincerity revives it. When you approach salah with awareness and humility, your prayer nourishes your faith. Ramadan becomes a time where your meeting with Allah brings lasting tranquility beyond the prayer mat, sleeping through most of the day and night. Some people treat Ramadan as a month to escape routine rather than renew faith. They stay awake most of the night without purpose and sleep through the day, missing the hours meant for reflection and worship. By the time they wake, half the fasting day has passed and their energy is already low. Fasting was designed to awaken awareness, not remove it. When sleep replaces intention, the heart loses the opportunity to grow. Rest is necessary, but excess rest steals blessings. Allah gave you daylight hours as a gift for patience and remembrance. If you sleep through them, you experience hunger but not transformation. Sleeping excessively also weakens discipline. The body becomes lazy and the mind dull. Instead of engaging with prayer and Qur'an, you rush basic obligations. Ramadan should strengthen your habits, not loosen them. A balanced routine keeps your worship steady. Wake early with purpose, rest moderately, and plan your day. Structure protects your energy. You notice your motivation increases when your schedule has meaning. The mornings of Ramadan carry special peace. After Fajr, the world feels quiet and your mind clear. This is a valuable moment for remembrance and reflection. When you return immediately to bed, you miss this calmness. Sitting briefly after prayer, even a few minutes, changes your mood for the day. You feel grounded and hopeful. Afternoons can be difficult during fasting. Hunger increases and patience is tested. Instead of escaping through long sleep, use gentle activity. Read a few verses, help your family, or make simple dhikr. Small actions maintain awareness. The day feels purposeful rather than heavy. Excessive sleep also reduces gratitude. When you wake only for meals, Ramadan becomes centered on eating instead of worship. You anticipate food more than closeness to Allah. Rebalancing your day reminds you why you fast. The fast becomes meaningful rather than routine. Night worship suffers when nights are spent aimlessly. Staying awake for entertainment leaves you exhausted during Taraweeh and Qiyam. Your body stands but your mind drifts. Prioritize rest so you can pray attentively. Sleep supports worship when used wisely. Eating heavily at night contributes to fatigue. Overeating makes waking early difficult. Choose moderation in suhoor and iftar. Lightness in the body supports alertness in worship. Balance in diet improves spiritual focus. Create a gentle routine. Rest after dur briefly if needed, but avoid long hours. Short naps refresh the body without removing the day. You remain active and attentive. This practice keeps your rhythm healthy. Involve your family in productive moments. Shared reading or conversation encourages wakefulness. Community brings energy. You motivate each other to stay engaged rather than withdraw into sleep. Notice your mood. When you manage sleep well, you feel calmer and more patient. Balanced rest stabilizes emotions. Hunger feels manageable instead of overwhelming. Late mornings are suitable for planning. Consider your goals for the day. Intention guides action. With intention, your time becomes worship. Avoid the habit of reversing day and night. Ramadan adjusts schedule slightly, but it should not remove daylight activity. Keep connection with sunlight and routine. This protects health and faith. Make dua for strength. Ask Allah to help you use your hours wisely. Spiritual energy comes with sincere request. Effort and prayer support each other. Use alarms gently to maintain timing. Small reminders prevent oversleeping. Discipline grows through small corrections. After Maghrib, avoid immediate heavy sleep. Engage in remembrance or family time. Gradual winding down keeps the night meaningful. Before sleep, recite short verses or dhikr. Ending the day with remembrance makes rest peaceful. You wake refreshed spiritually. During the last 10 nights, adjust carefully. Increase worship but maintain sufficient rest. Balance protects consistency. Observe how time feels longer when used well. Productive hours feel full. You appreciate each day more deeply. You will notice improvement beyond Ramadan. Better sleep habits continue. Spiritual discipline influences daily life. Always remember, sleeping through most of the day and night causes Ramadan to pass without impact. When you balance rest and worship, your fasting becomes purposeful. You finish the month not only hungry but changed, carrying habits that keep your heart awake long after Ramadan ends. Another hidden loss of excessive sleep is missing the moments when your heart is naturally soft. During fasting, hunger makes you humble and reflective. If you sleep through these hours, you avoid the very training Allah designed for you. Patience grows when you remain aware while tired, not when you escape awareness. Sitting quietly, even without speaking, teaches reliance on Allah. You learn to tolerate discomfort calmly. This patience carries into your character after Ramadan ends. Waking intentionally for suhoor also holds great blessing. When you rise before dawn, you enter a peaceful time when most people sleep. The mind is clear and distractions are minimal. Making dua then feels sincere and personal. Sleeping through this moment removes an opportunity for closeness. Even a simple prayer before Fajr can influence your entire day. These early moments nourish your faith. Daytime activity should be gentle but meaningful. Organize small acts of goodness such as helping your family or preparing iftar thoughtfully. Service keeps you awake spiritually and emotionally. When you contribute, your fast feels active rather than passive. You connect worship with daily life instead of separating them. Excessive sleep can also cause irritability. Long hours of rest do not always bring energy. Sometimes they bring heaviness. When you wake late, your mind feels slow and your patience thin. Balanced rest prevents this. Short, planned rest helps the body without weakening alertness. You feel steady rather than sluggish. Consider how the companions valued their time. They worked, worshipped, and served others while fasting. Their hunger increased their sincerity, not their inactivity. Reflecting on their example motivates you to stay engaged. You may not match their level, but you can imitate their intention. During late afternoon, the desire to sleep may be strong. Instead of lying down, choose remembrance. Sit comfortably and repeat simple phrases of dhikr. Your body rests while your heart remains awake. This practice gives peace and keeps your fast meaningful. If work or study occupies your day, view it as part of worship. Intend to perform it honestly for Allah's pleasure. Activity done with sincerity becomes reward. This mindset prevents you from seeing the day as empty time to skip through sleep. Community prayers also help maintain alertness. Attending congregational salah gives structure and motivation. You feel supported and encouraged. Shared worship energizes the heart and prevents laziness. After iftar, avoid falling into immediate deep sleep. Spend a few moments in gratitude and remembrance. Thank Allah for completing another fast. This reflection seals the day with appreciation before rest begins. Create a nightly routine that balances rest and prayer. Sleep early enough to wake for Fajr refreshed. Consistency builds strength. Your body adapts and your worship stabilizes. The mind benefits from moderate fatigue. Feeling slightly tired reminds you of your need for Allah. This awareness softens arrogance and increases humility. Too much comfort dulls reflection. You may find creativity in awake moments. Journaling, reflections, or planning personal improvement helps you grow. Ramadan becomes a month of development rather than interruption. Avoid heavy meals late at night. Overeating increases sleepiness and decreases motivation. Light nourishment keeps your body alert for worship. Balance supports discipline. Remember that time itself is a blessing. Each hour is a chance to earn forgiveness. Sleeping through many hours reduces opportunity. Awareness of time encourages better choices. Teach younger family members the value of balanced rest. Lead by example. Shared discipline strengthens family bonds and spiritual growth. Use daylight for acts of kindness. Even a phone call to comfort someone or a smile to encourage them carries reward. Active goodness replaces passive waiting. If you feel very tired, choose a short nap with intention. Rest briefly, then return to remembrance. Purposeful rest supports worship rather than replacing it. Notice how your appreciation increases when you stay awake more. You observe the changing light, the approaching Maghrib, and the atmosphere of Ramadan. These experiences deepen your connection to the month. Gradually your habits will change. You will begin preferring meaningful activity over excessive sleep. The heart finds joy in remembrance rather than escape. Always remember, continuing balanced wakefulness allows Ramadan to shape your character. By valuing your hours, you allow Allah's guidance to reach you fully, and the month leaves you spiritually stronger long after its days have passed. Forgetting the purpose of taqwa, Ramadan was prescribed so that you may attain taqwa. Yet many people complete the month without understanding what that truly means. They measure success by how many days they fasted or how long they stood in prayer. But taqwa is not counted in numbers. It is a state of awareness that lives inside the heart. It means remembering Allah before speaking, before reacting, and before deciding. When this awareness is missing, fasting becomes routine. You abstain from food yet continue the same habits. The goal of Ramadan is not hunger alone, it is transformation. Allah wants you to leave the month more mindful than you entered it. Taqwa begins with consciousness. You realize Allah sees you even when no one else does. This thought changes private behavior. You avoid sins not because people are watching, but because Allah is watching. Such awareness brings dignity. You act with sincerity rather than appearance. Worship becomes personal rather than public. Some people focus on outward actions but forget inward change. They pray regularly but still carry anger, jealousy and resentment. Taqwa addresses the heart first. You examine your intentions and soften your reactions. When someone upsets you, you pause and remember Allah. That pause is taqwa in action. Fasting trains you to say no to lawful food for Allah's sake. If you can leave what is permissible, you can leave what is harmful. This lesson should continue after sunset. The discipline gained during the day teaches you self-control in all areas of life. Without applying this lesson, the fast loses its purpose. Taqwa also appears in honesty. You return trust, fulfill promises, and speak truthfully even when inconvenient. Ramadan encourages integrity. Allah values sincerity more than display. Honest behavior strengthens faith and relationships. It influences your thoughts as well. Negative assumptions about others fade when you remember Allah. You give people benefit of the doubt and avoid suspicion. This mindset protects your peace and your community. Gratitude grows through taqwa. You notice blessings more often because awareness increases. Simple things feel meaningful. Thankfulness replaces complaint. A thankful heart stays content. Taqwa affects your spending and consumption. You become careful not to waste food or resources. You recognize provision as a trust. Moderation becomes natural. Respecting blessings deepens humility. It also shapes your reactions during hardship. Instead of panic, you turn to patience. You believe difficulty carries wisdom. This belief steadies your emotions and reduces fear. Private worship strengthens taqwa. Praying alone at night, giving charity quietly, and making silent dua nurture sincerity. Actions done unseen build a strong connection with Allah. Your relationships improve as well. You speak gently, forgive quickly, and treat others kindly. Awareness of Allah softens your character. People feel safe around you. Taqwa continues after Ramadan ends. If your habits change only temporarily, the lesson was incomplete. The real sign of acceptance is lasting improvement. Carry one good habit forward. It helps you resist temptation. When faced with wrongdoing, you remember Allah and step back. This decision protects your faith and your dignity. You begin planning life with purpose. Decisions reflect values, not impulse. Awareness guides your priorities. You choose what benefits your hereafter. Taqwa brings inner peace. You feel secure because you rely on Allah. Even uncertainty does not shake you deeply. Faith steadies your heart. Your speech becomes thoughtful. You avoid harsh words and speak beneficially. Silence replaces unnecessary talk. Calmness increases. It encourages reflection daily. You review your actions and seek improvement. Self-awareness grows gently. You correct mistakes quickly. You also pray for others sincerely. Concern for others' well-being reflects a purified heart. Compassion expands your perspective. Taqwa reduces attachment to approval. You act for Allah's pleasure rather than people's praise. Freedom from constant validation brings relief. Always remember the purpose of Ramadan is taqwa. When awareness of Allah guides your thoughts, words and actions, fasting fulfills its meaning. You leave the month not only having abstained from food, but having gained a heart that remains mindful long after Ramadan ends. Taqwa also grows when you remember accountability. Every action, even the smallest, is known to Allah. This awareness does not frighten the believer, it guides them gently. You begin thinking before speaking and reflecting before reacting. A careless habit slowly becomes a careful one. You ask yourself whether your choices please Allah. This quiet self-questioning protects your character. Over time, you notice fewer regrets because you paused beforehand. Living with awareness creates stability. You no longer act only on emotion. Your decisions become thoughtful and your heart feels settled. Another part of taqwa is guarding intentions. You may perform good deeds outwardly, but sincerity determines their value. Before any action, renew your purpose for Allah alone. Even daily tasks like work or helping family become worship when your intention is right. Taqwa turns ordinary life into meaningful devotion. You feel closer to Allah not only in the mosque but throughout the day. This connection gives purpose to routine. Taqwa encourages moderation. You avoid extremes in behavior and expectations. You neither become careless nor harsh with yourself. Balance allows growth without burnout. When you fall short, you correct gently instead of despairing. Allah loves steady effort. This balanced approach keeps faith sustainable. Your eyes also reflect taqwa. You choose what to look at carefully. Lowering your gaze protects your thoughts and feelings. Images influence emotions more than you realize. Guarding sight helps maintain inner calm. Peace increases when distractions decrease. Listening is part of awareness too. You avoid conversations that harm faith or dignity. Instead, you seek beneficial words. What you hear shapes your mindset. Choosing wisely keeps your heart clear. Taqwa guides your reactions to praise. Compliments no longer inflate your ego excessively. You thank Allah for the ability rather than claim ownership. Humility grows naturally. You remain grounded and grateful. Similarly, criticism affects you less. When you remember Allah, you evaluate feedback calmly. You improve what is true and ignore what is unfair. Your confidence rests on faith rather than opinion. Time management improves with taqwa. You see each hour as valuable. Wasting time becomes uncomfortable. You prioritize worship and meaningful activity. Productivity becomes spiritual discipline. Taqwa brings mindfulness to eating and drinking. You remember the blessing behind every bite. Gratitude replaces carelessness. Even meals become moments of remembrance. It also strengthens patience in traffic queues and delays. Small inconveniences become practice for larger patience. You respond with calmness rather than frustration. You begin noticing your words more carefully. Tone softens and arguments decrease. Kindness becomes a habit rather than effort. Relationships improve quietly. Taqwa deepens reliance on Allah. In uncertainty, you trust His wisdom. Anxiety lessens because you know outcomes are guided. Your nights change too. You reflect before sleep and ask forgiveness. Ending the day with repentance cleans the heart. Morning intentions also matter. Begin with remembrance and a plan for goodness. Starting aware shapes the entire day. Financial dealings become more ethical. You avoid doubtful earnings. Integrity brings peace stronger than profit. Taqwa encourages service. Helping others becomes natural. Compassion becomes part of identity. You forgive yourself gently after mistakes. Instead of despair, you repent and continue. Hope remains alive. Your perspective on success changes. You measure growth by faith, not status. This brings contentment. Gratitude increases daily. You see Allah's care in small events. Awareness turns ordinary moments into blessings. Always remember, taqwa is a continuous journey, not a temporary feeling. When awareness remains after Ramadan, the month succeeded. Your life becomes guided, balanced and peaceful because your heart stays connected to Allah in every moment. My dear brothers and sisters, Ramadan is too precious to pass like any other month. The goal is not to count how many days you fasted, but how much your heart changed. Even if you have already made mistakes, the door is still open. You can begin today. Guard your tongue, protect your time and turn sincerely to Allah. A single moment of honest repentance can be more valuable than many days without reflection. Do not allow hunger alone to be your only worship. Let your patience increase, your character soften, and your connection with Allah grow stronger. When Ramadan ends, the real success is not that you completed 30 days, but that you left the month closer to Allah than you entered it.